I'm writing this now as I'm watching the rain gods dripping into the overgrown plants in the cracks of the patio rock. And I can see a pool forming, and the water gods have made their bubbles in the little pool. And I've brought an exquisite rose, cardamom, and sandalwood incense offering to the water gods, since in our religion and culture we burn incense and frankincense to honor and give pleasure to the gods. Others may call them water spirits, which is also a fine name by which they go, but we will give them the name Theurgy. We observe and regard the magnificence of their delicate being. They are very refreshing, sacred spirits which nurture everything and are a high source of the good and the beautiful. They beautify everything, adorn everything, imbue everything with new color, new vigor, new energy, new shape, new form. They even nourish the other gods around them too. They bring upon us all a new mood, and we all yield to them and regard them when they appear. All of life stands at ease, ready to drink them. It's a miracle of some kind that it's possible to drink a god, to imbibe a god, to beckon a god into our very body and our veins, and yet it is the most commonplace thing in the world. But is it really? Earth is a miracle planet, a miracle goddess. So why should her miracle gods, the water gods, be regarded as any less miraculous? Water brings to us our sense of purpose. It brings our awareness to the miracle. It is the force of its own will. Is it not deserving of honor? Water gives us our respiration, our spirit, our very breath. Zeus is the god who brings rainwater to the earth. But the city where I live, the polis where I live, derives its rainwater from the sea. And so Poseidon is the source of it. Anyway, they're both gods to whom I give much due sacrifice, much due honor, much regard, many offerings, much timay. Timay is the honor paid to the gods or to individuals in cultic worship. Usually in a material manifestation, they take the form of the material sacrifice, the material offering, gifts, presents, aromas, sacrifices. They all stem from a deep respect for the gods to whom the practitioner is paying honor, or timay. Timay is a payment of due regard, of due acknowledgement for the gifts that the god bestows on us. It's a form of obligatory gratitude. When certain individuals, heroes or gods, become atimos, or dishonored, then they must have their timay restored to them. And likewise, the gods must always be in an equilibrium state of receiving their due timay. It's only natural that when the gods are deprived of their timay, that things are thrown out of balance, men are made less wise. Likewise, when men do not honor themselves and they do not give themselves timay through the gods, because giving the gods timay, giving the gods their due honor, is a way in which we honor ourselves as well, as beings who are aware of the gods, who are aware of their splendor and their magnificence and the properties and essence and character that they have, which makes them deserving of timay. But of course we live in an age now where timay is not given. Timay has not really been properly given to the proper gods either in a very long time, at least in Western culture. The natural spirits, the natural gods, the theurgy of the world have been disregarded since Christianity has narrowed the focus to the Trinity and the canon of saints. And the gods, the water gods, are regarded in the Christian sense as somewhat inanimate creations of the source God, rather than spirits in their own right, deserving of timay, deserving of honor, deserving of sacrifice, deserving of offerings. There's a natural behavior which the gods tend to follow, which we tend to mimic in our honoring of them when we give our sacrifice to them. We do so because we recognize their superlative, gorgeous forms and manifestations and energies. We want to partake in them. And so those people who do so with clear intention, with honest intention, with honor, timay, with respect, with principles of respect and love, when you experience this real love, you don't want to control, you don't desire to control, you don't desire to manipulate. When we honor the gods, we're not making requests of them. When we make our prayers to them, we can ask them, after we have honored them, to give us knowledge, to show us, to illuminate our senses and show us the roots of the earth, show us the roots of ourselves, show us. But it would be absurd to make such requests after such prolonged periods of dishonoring the gods as we have done culturally. In our culture, we face a very unique problem with respect to this. So to kind of reorient one's vision, thought, emotive regard towards the world, towards the spirits, to reorient it in a way of honoring, of regarding, acknowledging, deeply respecting. This is kind of the beginning. This is the beginning of Theurgy, really. The realm of the gods and the spirits goes so deep. It goes past the 3, even 4-dimensional matrices of reality. And something which is just magnificent about the gods is that they reveal themselves after very long bouts of observing them. I call this divine inaction, as opposed to theurgy or divine action. The gods are generous with their revelations and their gifts. They are literally the givers of good things. Homer calls them the theurgist, the givers of good things. And they reveal themselves after long periods of doing nothing, of observing. You'll begin to hear things in your mind, reverberations, that for lack of a better word are kind of like the gods. And they won't be like human language. It's kind of up to us to formulate them into human language in logical, grammatical sentences that honor some level of precision linguistically, but that's kind of a private process. The external communication and communion between you and the gods very much comes in the moments of you doing divine inaction and honoring the gods, and doing divine action by honoring the gods, by giving them timay, by giving them sacrifices and offerings, and observing them and regarding them and acknowledging them. Every mystic, I think, kind of understands that the god has a natural order or tendency or attraction to kind of magnetically pull and attract certain energies that we as humans emit or cultivate or gather. We gather a certain kind of energy when we give honor to the gods, when we give timay to the gods. We're in a certain state of mind. We're in a certain state of mind of thankfulness for the theurgist, the givers of good things. And to do this all throughout the day, to do this outside as much as possible, to observe the gods, the water gods, the wind gods, the plant gods, the bird gods, the animal gods, the sea gods, the wave gods, the glittering points of the waves. To regard all of these things, give them honor, give them timay, give them offering, give them sacrifice, pulls us into their orbit. They love to be regarded. They love to be sacrificed to and honored. They are so confident in themselves. Who's more confident in themselves, in their inherent self-evident beauty and goodness than the gods are? Who is more confident, right? So they like it when we recognize their beauty and when we know them. They love it when we know them. And we get to know them by honoring them, respecting them deeply, and regarding them, acknowledging them, thinking about them, contemplating them as we observe them. To give them fragrant gifts, like aromatic gifts, is only one form of honoring. We can also give them symbols. We can give them tokens of meaning. We can give them song. We can give them time. We can give them tears. We can give them energy. We can give lots of things to them. And naturally, they provide things of the same tenor to us in return. That is how honoring the gods usually works. They're not stingy. I will say over and over that they are the givers of good things, the theurgist. Just as I've introduced the water gods. They give us everything. They give us life. They give us breath. They give us miracle, refreshment, purpose. They give us our very blood. And when we see them, we should tell them that we love and honor them, that we honor them and we love them, just as Calypso says to Hermes when he comes to her island in Odyssey, Book 5. Edioste philoste. I honor you, I love you. You are honored, you are loved. We should say this every morning, every early afternoon, every evening, every night, throughout the day, before we sleep, in our dreams. To regard, to honor, to love the gods, to honor the spirits, to love the spirits, to regard the spirits, all day. This is good. This is divine action. This is theurgy, theurgia. And we can begin to apply this honor, this regard, this love that we have for the spirits around us, for the world around us and its spirits, for other people and for ourselves. That is a miracle as well. To regard and honor yourself, to love and honor, respect yourself. This is the beginning of stepping into the path of the gods. The honor, the shifting, the reorienting oneself towards honor is kind of the beginning of shifting the perspective. But then when you begin to regard yourself with honor, with love, respect, it is this way in which we can approach or attempt to become godlike. The epithet used many times in Homer to describe the great men and women of those ancient times, in which honor was very much given ubiquitously.